All right, so as the title of this video probably says, we officially have a JOB. We are officially, non-officially, officially employed. I'm trying to see what's the best lighting for this because still new to this apartment. Might not have the best lighting. Anyways, as the title says in this video, we are officially, non-officially employed. We got a JOB. So one of the companies that I interviewed with last week gave me an official offer yesterday, and the only reason I haven't signed is because there was some issues that I had with the title. It had me as a junior level engineer, and I felt like I should be more of a mid-level engineer because of the scope of the project and the responsibilities. Sent it back to them. I got a call today saying that they had no issue with changing it and that they're going to send the official offer today or tomorrow. So officially or not officially official, have a JOB, which is great, right? That was one of my main goals for the year. And actually step one for me, main priority, was to get a job because of income, right? I don't like not having income, the pressure that comes with that, the judgment of not coming with having a job. I will miss unemployment life. I really liked being unemployed and not having to go to work and being able to do whatever I wanted throughout the day and go to the gym midday. But having income is important, and I feel a lot of pressure off of me. Like, it's taking a lot of pressure off of me. I will be able to do more things. I'll be able to sign up for a gym membership. I will be able to spend a little more on groceries and stuff, and it feels nice, right? Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about the role because it is a different role. It's the same type of job. It's a software engineering job, which is what I did at my previous company, but it is for a much smaller company. It's a local-based company here in Austin, and I met with them last week, but I actually I met with them last summer at a military training exercise, and that's kind of where I handed my resume and stuff. And later in 2025, so like a month or two ago, they reached out to me potentially about having a role for me, and that's where when I moved to Austin, I set up a scheduled interview with them, and yeah, it went well. But the role is different, right? It's a much broader scope of responsibilities. I will be the second engineer on the team, second software engineer, and the project is in a very early phase. The project that I'm going to be working on is in a very early phase, so there is a lot of work to do. And that isn't the main reason why I didn't feel right taking like an entry-level job or having a junior role assigned to me, just because the role is more like a mid-level engineer. But I'm excited for it. Like, it's a cool project. I'm not going to speak too much about what the project is, but it's a cool project, and I think it's going to be a lot of good developmental experience, a lot more project ownership, and instead of building internal tools like what I was building at my last company, I actually get to build out a project from the start. So it's going to be a good experience. It was nice not having to go through a bunch of rigorous loops and interviews to get the job. If you're a computer science student or a software engineer or in the tech world in general, then you're familiar with technical interviews and how long and how lengthy the process it can be to get hired as a software engineer. You typically start with the application, and because it's so competitive nowadays, you'll be lucky to get an interview. And then once you get an interview, if you're lucky enough to get an interview, you'll get something like an online assessment, which is a link to a page where they'll give you like a coding problem. You got to solve that coding problem within a certain amount of time. If you do well in the online assessment and they like you, then they'll give you a phone interview, right? A phone interview either with a recruiter or like a manager or some sort of interviewer. Some of it can be technical, some of it can be behavioral. And then if you do well on that, then you get into the first round of technical interviews, which is you'll hop on a call with either one or multiple engineers, and they'll give you coding problems to solve on a live feed, either on a website, or sometimes they'll call you in person. But it's a lot of pressure to do that, right? Because they're like trivial coding problems, they're hard problems. And it's a lot to ask someone to program in front of you and solve an issue. But basically you either have like anywhere from one to I've seen up to 5 rounds of interviews. I've gone through that before. And then all that can take anywhere from a few weeks to potentially 2 months, right? Depending on how fast the company moves. And there's no guarantee you're going to get it. You can be ghosted. Like I made it pretty far recently into the rounds of interviews with IBM for a role that I was 100% qualified, if not overqualified for, and they ghosted me. Like I didn't hear a response back from them. So yeah, it was nice not have to go through that. And I'm excited. I'm excited for not to get back to work, but just to have income. And it's going to allow me to focus on different things, which is something I want to talk about in this video. So if you didn't know, I like to pursue entrepreneurial things. Like last year, I spent majority of the year building out an app. And one of my hobbies includes working out, lifting in the gym. I like to track my workouts. So I built an app to help me track my workouts. It's essentially Strava for the gym. And I'll go through the features and stuff, but basically how the app ended or its current status is it's on pause because there were just some issues with it. I spent a lot of time on it and I had to focus on getting a job because this app was bringing in no money and I needed money. Like I was running out of my savings. So now that I have a job, I can go back and focus on it. Is this going to be my main priority? No. I think it's just something like I spent too much time on it to abandon it. And I think I can fix what I feel is wrong with it. And I still see a lot of value in it. So it's a workout tracking app, right? I'll share some screenshots. But essentially you have performance trends, you can track your calories, you can track sleep, pretty much anything that you get from Apple Health, like from a wearable or your phone, that data gets imported into this app. And you can see things like training volume, what muscle groups you tend to work out more often. You see nutrition breakdown, like your average macros throughout the week. And then you have things like personal records, right? What are your PRs and like your bench or whatever lift you want to track. And then there's the workout tab, which is where you would go to start your workout. You have a heat map here to show you how consistent you've been with your workouts. But like, let's say today is a back and triceps day. You're not gonna be able to see that, but back and triceps day, you would click on it. It has all the exercises you have planned for that day. You can modify them, you can delete, you can add exercises. You go into the exercises, you log your reps, your weight, and how you felt on that set. And essentially when you're done with the exercise, it posts it onto a feed like Strava does, right? When you complete an exercise on Strava, it gets posted with all your stats and it shares it with either your friends or you can have it private if you want to. And not only can you track workouts, but the idea was you could track nutrition. You have a nutrition dashboard where you have your calories, your macros, your water, your like sodium, sugar, fiber, and caffeine intake. And you can pretty much log any food that you wanted. And each time you made a log of food, that would also be shared to a feed if you wanted to, so that you can share, what you're eating, how you're going with your diet and stuff. And it gets shared to a feed. Like, this is what the feed looks like. You can comment, repost. It's just a good way to keep up with friends and community on workouts and nutrition. But by far my favorite feature is leaderboard. So when you log a workout and you log a meal, you get XP for it daily. So you can only log one workout daily and get XP for it. And you can log up to 3 meals a day and you get XP for it. And what that does is it rewards consistency, right? There are other apps that have XP systems for workouts, but or maybe not XP systems. They don't have XP systems. They have ranked systems just like this. And so what they do is like, oh, you lift 315 on bench, you're top 1% in the world. And that's where you get your rank. But the issue I have with that is that it doesn't reward consistency in the gym. It rewards like how much you lift. And I think that incentivizes people to be dishonest with themselves and their lifts. And they may not, again, always be honest or accurate with their lifts or their logging, which is important. I think there's a huge importance when it comes to logging your workouts. Well, basically how the rank system works is you get the XP for the workouts and the meals that you log. And every Saturday you get ranked against your peers and the global community. And so like I don't have many users on the app right now, but as of right now, like I'm number 1 in the community for having this amount of XP. And you can see I'm bronze 1. So there's also that kind of rank system where, you know, 1000 to 1500 XP is bronze 1. And then once you pass 1500, you become bronze 2, all the way up to, I think the highest rank is, I forgot what the highest rank was, but it's been a while since I worked on this app. But yeah, I think it's a really cool app. I think it's a good idea, and I think it has a lot of potential, and it promotes like healthy tracking, right? I think everyone should be tracking their workouts. I think everyone should be tracking their nutrition, which brings me into the issue with the nutrition. The main issue that I had was that the food database sucked, right? I pulled in food databases from open source. So there's 2, they're USDA Foods and Open Food Facts. And they have millions and millions of entries of foods. The thing is that their data quality sucks. They either have like inaccuracies or duplicates. You'll have foods that are marked as 0 calories but have macros, and vice versa. You have foods that have calories but no accurate macros. And like, as someone who logs their food daily, I tried using my app when it was functional. It was just a bad experience. Like, it sucked. I had to add all the foods that I couldn't find in there, and even some of the foods that I did find in there were inaccurate. It was overall just a bad user experience, which is why I never really marketed the app, because I didn't want to put my name on something that I didn't feel like was quality. So that's where I kind of just killed the app, because I had to focus on getting a job and stuff. But as of right now, I think I'm just going to remove the nutritional database and nutrition part of the app for now, while I work or while I decide on what I'm going to do for the nutrition database. But at least for now, you can still have the functionality of logging your workouts and sharing it with friends. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I just want to hop on here and talk about that. It was a big day. Finally got a job. Am I going to still interview? Yes, absolutely. Still interviewing for jobs. Just because, like I said, it wasn't a dream opportunity, it wasn't the best opportunity I could have gotten, but I'm very grateful to have this opportunity, and it's just like the first step in the process. The purpose of this YouTube is to document as much as possible, and yeah, documenting every part of the process, even the beginning phases where it's not so glamorous. But I don't really know how to end my YouTube videos anymore, so I think that's it for this video, and I will update you on anything else.